Alrighty. Hello. Welcome into another episode of the Full Send Half Mast Podcast, episode 137, here on this fine Tuesday evening. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We got a bunch of news for F1, NASCAR, as well as the lawsuit update with Front Row 2311. I just got a little talking point I want to talk about there that I think is pretty funny. We also had races this weekend with the ARCA Series, the Xfinity Cup at Daytona. We had IndyCar at Milwaukee for their second to last race of the season, and then IMSA with their third to last race of the season, the GT Challenge at VIR this weekend. Obviously, we'll go through our infamous or famous or not so famous driver of the week and bonehead of the week segments. Got some great nominees for you guys here this weekend. Also, we'll go over the playoff grid for you, and I'll pick my championship four, and then maybe save my champion for another week. I don't know. I still undecided who's going to win this championship. It's NASCAR. Anything can happen. But I'll give you my picks for the final four. And then we'll get into previewing this weekend's races. We got Xfinity at Portland, which is going to be an absolute banger. I wish I could be there this year. Not going to make it, but it's going to be awesome to watch. A stacked, loaded field. I'll give you the rundown of some of the notable entries on the list this year. Trucks and Cup opening the playoffs for both the Trucks and Cup this weekend at Darlington. And then the IndyCar season finale. Sad, sad days. What an amazing IndyCar season this has been. Even though Pelot had the championship race locked up with 3 races remaining, it still has been an absolute phenomenal season. And we'll talk about the race that we had this weekend at Milwaukee, which was an absolute banger, all-time classic IndyCar race. And then F1 off their summer break, back again this weekend with the Zandvoort Dutch Grand Prix this weekend. So can't wait to break down some F1. I've been missing some F1, guys. It's been a long summer break. We've had like 3-4 weeks off of F1. I'm excited to talk about that with you guys here tonight. Notable entries for this weekend's races, as well as my favorite star courses, what to expect in this weekend's racing onslaught that we have, as well as NASCAR fantasy lineup for this week, as I'm going to try and post that to the Discord, the standings at the end of the regular season. I'll do that after the podcast so we can be updated to see where everybody is laying in our Dega Boys Fantasy League. I'll give you my picks and predictions and matchup choices for this weekend's race. Alrighty. I do want to start this podcast off with some news. I did mention at the beginning. Let's start it off with some of the good news here. Connor Zilic gets announced to Trackhouse Cup Series in 2026. They didn't announce a number, so I'm staying optimistic and positive that he's going to rock that 88 car in 2026. Maybe they'll move SVG, hopefully, to the 97 car and put Zilic in the 88 car. I think that's all what would be correct and right in the world. Let's make it happen. And then he will also have sponsorship from WeatherTech, which is sponsoring him in the Xfinity Series now, and Red Bull, who has sponsored him in his Select Cup Series start so far, as we know that he's a Red Bull active driver. So that'll set a lineup for Trackhouse of 2026 with Ross Chastain with the Busch Beer Light or Busch Light sponsorship. Trackhouse also has SVG, who's in the 88 currently. I'm not saying that he's not going to be in the 88 next year, but I'm really hoping that he gets the 97 car, gets back to his roots and his true number, and then puts Zilic in the 88 car. Let SVG keep his team and everything, build the team around Zilic with the 88, just rebranded 99 to the 88. Oh, that'd be sick. I'm just trying to speak it into existence because if you guys know, I'm a big C Zilly homer over here on the channel, and we'll talk about his win this weekend, which I can't wait to talk about. But yeah, he's doing awesome. He's going to be running Cup Series 2026. In the offseason, we'll make some bold predictions. I got some pretty bold predictions for Connor Zilic's 2026 expectations. I don't want to spoil those here on this podcast. That'll be an off-season segment that me and Tom always do, as we have all these fun, awesome off-season segments that you guys are going to be wanting to tune into, with season predictions, season previews, bold predictions. We'll recap IndyCar, Formula One, and Cup Series driver grades for 2025. We'll do all that in this offseason, so that's something you guys will have to tune into in the offseason for expectations for Zilic Trackhouse Cup Series in 2026. Next thing I do want to talk about, we know Dodge Ram, I guess it's a Ram brand, is coming to NASCAR in 2026 with the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. And we are closer to finding out a team that is going to represent them in the Truck Series, and that is going to be Colleague Racing, who currently runs Xfinity Truck, Xfinity Cup, as you know, with Chevy, going to be switching over to Dodge Ram in 2026. and being the premier team. 5 truck team is what gets me on this one, guys. How is that even going to happen? Not only are they not a truck series team currently, but they're going to expand to a 5 truck team. Obviously, it's going to be fully funded and promoted by the Ram brand. They're going to have a lot of money invested into this program. We have no idea what drivers, numbers, nothing like that. We just know that they're shooting for a 5 truck team in 2026 with colleague racing at Daytona, the opening race. It's going to be wild. I don't know. It's gonna be wild to see they start putting these trucks. I think Brennan Queen is definitely one I'd put on my list to be in one of those trucks. And then I mean, from there, where do you go? I don't really know. There's so many options out there. It feels like funding might not be an issue. They might be able to kind of hand pick their own drivers they want to put in these trucks. With funding not being an issue, maybe some funding will be part of it. But it's gonna be interesting. They're building a brand new truck team. Gonna be gate blocking some of the information from Dodge to Chevy, which makes sense since they're running Chevy in the other series, running Dodge in this new truck series. So I think they said they're adding like 50 something new employees. It's gonna be an undertaking for sure. I mean, they're buying trucks from Spire. Dodge is designing basically in the truck series. Everybody's got the same Elmore crate motor basically that they run. So you're just designing a front nose piece basically, so they can buy parts and pieces from other teams to get enough trucks, and then being able to get 5 trucks put together just for Daytona. And that's coming up in February, which we're not that far away from. And then on top of building trucks to extend through the next portion of the season and then catching up, it's going to be an undertaking. But we'll see how it all plays out. We'll see if Dodge comes in NASCAR like Toyota did. Big appendage swinging, as we say here on the Digga Boys channel. All right, and then the next bit of news I did want to talk about is Cadillac Formula One team has finally officially announced their driver lineup for 2026. We're having so many speculations. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Alex Blow? Is it going to be Colton Herta? Is it going to be Pat O'Ward? Like, are we going to get some of these IndyCar guys a chance at F1? Or are we going to have F2 talents move over and run in with this team in F1? Rumors of Botas have been sprung. I mean, there's been just crazy rumors everywhere who's going to be in the seats, and they narrowed it down. Valtteri Bottas being claimed or confirmed. He's got 10 career victories in Formula One. And then Sergio Perez, who's got 6, I believe 5, 6 victories in Formula One. He will be the second driver. I'm not a fan of well, I like the Valtteri Bottas decision. I think that's a great option to build a team, especially startup team. I think going with somebody like Valtteri Bottas, who's ran at the bottom rung of F1 teams, at the bottom or the under or the I don't want to say underfunded team, like that's not like NASCAR, but the more of the backmarker teams, and then has moved to the medium tier teams with Williams, and then he moved up and he ran with Mercedes, which was the top tier team, and then kind of went back down to the bottom with Sauber before he kind of went back into a reserve role with Mercedes. I think he's a great option to be able to develop this car. He's going to be able to, he doesn't wreck a lot. He's going to be able to get great finishes. He's consistent. He's been one of the best B drivers in Formula One for the last 10, 15 years. I mean, I think it's a great option. The Sergio Perez one, I don't understand. You're getting everything you're getting out of Bottas. Why would you bring in another veteran driver like a Sergio Perez, who's kind of had the same career path? I just don't understand why you'd bring in 2 of them. I guess I get why they did it. It makes sense in a logistics standpoint. Why would you waste young talent in this new startup team developing a car? I mean, you bring in a young driver that is your next big prospect, and then you rush him in F1 with a team that's underfunding, like Colton Herta, for example. This would have been a terrible look for IndyCar. It would have been a terrible look for Americans in F1. It would have been a terrible look for Colton Herta. If they were to put him in this F1 ride right off the rip, trying to develop this car, trying to be competitive, because they're going to be a backmarker team. Let's be honest, guys. They're going to be probably the worst team on the grid for the next 2 years minimum. I mean, they are going to be terrible. So I get why you put in veteran drivers to get this car quick enough or develop this car. And these guys have nothing to prove. I mean, they've climbed the top of the F1 ladder. They're back down at the bottom. They got nothing to lose. They're going to make a fat penny on it and sell off into the sunset when it's all done. I would like to see them bring in some of these IndyCar drivers like Colton Herta, who's been speculated in the past. Bring in somebody like him to, or maybe even Kyle Kirkwood. Bring in those two guys as like test drivers or reserve drivers, which is probably going to happen down the line. And try to prime them so when the cars are competitive and running up the front of the field, then they could put in these IndyCar guys, these American drivers, example Herta, Kirkwood, and let them have a chance at Formula One. So that's my thought process on that. It makes sense, but it's exciting. The wheels are turning. Cadillac F1 is almost here. 2026 are gonna get there, and excuse me, I'm excited to see how this all plays out. I'm gonna be pulling for them. Hopefully, they can not embarrass themselves in the first season. Hopefully, they are somewhat competitive coming in with uh, a new concept, new car. We'll see how it all plays out. Them versus Audi is going to be a great story throughout the year. They're both kind of in the same position, except for Cadillac developing a brand new team, while Audi's coming in on an already established team. It'll be interesting how that works out, but I'm excited. All right, the final little bit that I did want to talk about here. I thought this was funny. The whole 2311 Front Row Motorsports lawsuit appendage measuring contest, as I would say. I've talked about it in length on multiple podcasts over the last 2 months, 3 months. So if you guys want to go back and watch any of those podcasts, feel free to do so to get my opinion on the whole deal. But what I think is funny is that 2311 and Front Row Motorsports will threaten NASCAR with the fact that they're going to have to shut their teams down if they lose this lawsuit. Can't make this up. Oh man, you think NASCAR could care less? You basically gave NASCAR one of these, man, and then was like, "Oh, we're gonna have to shut it down. We lose this, we're gonna have to shut her down." NASCAR just sitting there like, "We gave you the papers to sign, and you didn't sign it." I don't know what to tell you. I mean, what a dumb thing to even say or even put out there into the public knowledge. I mean, that is just clownery at its finest, man. Like, I don't get it, man. That's hilarious. There's been rumors that NASCAR's, I mean, in the process of trying to sell these charters. Uh, I mean, maybe you have to throw the tinfoil hat on here because this is a good one I heard earlier. Uh, oh shoot, if I can get it to stay, boys. Let's see. Will it stay? I guess if I don't move my head, we'll just do that for now. The best one I heard was that NASCAR was going to try and sell the charters to Junior, Dell Junior, or for Junior Motorsports, and try to leverage Dell Jr. against Denny Hamlin, the heel versus the hero, and try to get public opinion swayed to Dell Jr. in NASCAR's favor. You can't make this up, man. The internet is a wonderful drug, wonderful disease, man. It's hilarious, man. What some of these people say, but that's the current updating on the whole NASCAR lawsuit and everything. I thought I'd bring that up. I thought it was pretty funny. All right, that covers news for this fine Tuesday. I do want to talk about the races this weekend because we had some pretty damn good racing. I'm not gonna lie. Um, ARCA series, I just want to touch over it real quick. Wasn't the most entertaining race, but Max Reeves ends up winning, ends up getting his second career Xfinity, or I mean ARCA series win. Qualified on pole, pretty much led and dominated the whole race. So good job by him. The one funny moment of this race though was Lawless Allen. I believe it was Maples that spun out in like turns 1 and 2. He's like dead sideways in the track. Lawless Allen just comes in there like an absolute rocket ship and just TKOs the 67 car of Maples. I thought that was funny. I mean, that was ARCA break master century of the moment. I mean, of the race of the year. I don't know. That was just funny. I thought I'd mention that on this podcast. All right, we do need to talk about the Xfinity Series race next, the Wawa 250 at Daytona. Interesting, right? So Zilich, qualifying gets right now, so Zilich gets privilege of starting on pole. As we've been reported all week that he wasn't going to be able to race in the race. He was going to start, and then he was going to get out, and Parker Kligerman was going to fill in. He gets the points for starting the race, obviously. Wherever Parker Kligerman finishes is what points he receives for the day, as he's in this heated regular season championship battle with his teammate Justin Allgaier. So it's a big brain move by that team to try and make that happen. But Zilich having to step out. I guess my biggest thing is I don't know. I might save it. I might use this segment that we haven't used in a while. Here in a second. You know, let's just do it now. All right, I'll let this play, and I'll be right back with you.
We have to go to therapy? Sick sons of bitches. What the fuck happened? I mean, I pray you know that pain and that hurt.
All right, this is the what's happening segment. But come on, NASCAR, what is happening here? First off, early in this race, Harrison Burton gets spun sideways down the back straightaway, aimed for the inside wall, and NASCAR refused to throw the yellow. I mean, I would have thrown it instantly when I saw him pointed towards the inside wall at like 180 miles an hour, 109, whatever they're going down that back straightaway. I mean, that is just a bad look. They don't throw the caution. Ends up just basically tearing the tires, get just destroyed off the car. The inner fender wheel wells get ripped out. We got debris everywhere on the back straightaway. No caution. He has to limp this thing back to pit road. And then, to top that off, it starts sprinkling. So they throw the yellow for rain, but you look down at the camera that CW had, which was great freaking camera work, by the way. They caught this big old piece of debris down the back straightaway. It looked like one of those fender or wheel wells. I mean, just sitting there on the back straightaway, but they claimed the yellow was for rain. I saw it live. I told you it was a caution. So we didn't get a caution there. I don't know what's going on there. And then you get later in the race, Anthony Alfredo ends up stalling on the track. They delay the caution forever. He's trying his hardest to roll to an escape route down on the infield. There is none there. It wasn't one there for him to go through. They left none of the inside access gates open. So he's stuck. So they have to throw the yellow there as he rolls there. And so it makes sense. But, I mean, if you wanted to stay consistent with, we're not throwing a yellow if somebody spins out in the middle of the track, why not leave a freaking access gate open for somebody to go through? I mean, you can't make this up. It makes no sense when they stall. And then, to top this off right later in the race, again, Rajah Caruth gets turned, pointed to the inside wall, and we don't throw a caution again. And he's aimed for the inside. I mean, what is happening? I mean, they were consistent to a point, but the fact that they blamed the yellow on the rain, which it was raining, but the caution was for the debris. It should have been. And then to not throw it when Burton goes around. His car is just destroyed. I mean, Rajah, same thing, but then the no access gate for Anthony with the clownery at its finest here with race control. I mean, that was hard to watch. I'm not gonna lie, that was tough to watch. Every time it happened, I was like, oh, there it is. And then you got Tom in the Discord posting Bob Cockris's updates of the race. We got Harrison Burton spinning down the backstretch and no caution. And then you got Anthony Alfredo tries to get to the access gate. There is none there. He's stalled on track. Caution is out. Same thing with Rajah. Rajah spinning through the infield. And no caution. And then the picture was caution for rain. And it was just a big picture of the freaking metal wheel wells sitting on the back straightaway. You can't make it up, man. What's happening? What's happening, dog? Oh, man. Alrighty. I guess the biggest crash of the day, and this was absolutely funny. Taylor Gray ends up he was involved in a wreck earlier with, I think it was like Quapple and Sammy Smith. It was kind of a few car incident there. Nothing major to talk about, but it did give damage to Taylor Gray. It looked like he had a tire maybe going down as he went into turn 3. He ends up collecting Matt DiBenedetto, Jeremy Clements, Josh Bilicki, I believe, in this incident. But Cesar Baccarella, man, in that number 5 7-Eleven machine, man, he came flying in there like a heat-seeking missile, man. He was in there trying to get one of them Slurpees from that 7-Eleven, dude. He just completely sent it. I mean, it was hilarious watching it live. I mean, you just see the wreck's done, and then you see the 7-Eleven car coming in like an absolute, Tom would say, heat-seeking missile, man. Absolutely sent it. He's in a full-wheel drift around turn 3 into turn 4. Slides through like 3-4 cars, misses all of them. Just, I mean, Tokyo Drift master, dog. It was insane. And somehow didn't hit anything or hit anybody and didn't cause any damage, but damn, sent it. That was comical, man. I enjoyed that part of the race. That was absolutely cinematic watching that live. Holy cow. And then we have that late race wreck with Ryan Sieg. This can nominate Ryan Sieg as a bonehead of the week. It was just not the time and place. He had, the way I'm looking at it, he had the inside line, I believe it was like PK and Allgaier were down there working together. The middle line kind of had momentum, but it was fading as they were going down into turn one. This is like 6 laps ago. There's lots of time left in this race to rebuild and regroup and get another run. But the 70 car's up to the outside. I don't remember who the hell is driving the 70 car. Does it matter? No, it does not. But he's up there in the third line trying to make the third line work. If you guys have seen Daytona races over the last few years, the third line rarely ever comes to fruition. It'll have a good surge and then it'll just die away instantly when that middle lane opens up. Everybody starts lane jockeying back. So it's like Ryan Sieg's in the middle. They lost the momentum. They're going to get it back. There's more cars uniformed in that middle line. They're going to get it back. And he decides to shade to the right and make a really late block on the 70 car and gets turned to basically wrecks himself. I mean, it is what it is. Ryan Sieg, I felt like, had a winning race car. It felt like it was his day. You know, it really did. It felt like him and we'll talk about PK in a minute, but it felt like Sieg or PK were going to win this race if one of them was going to steal it from Austin Hill is what it felt like. And then Sieg did that, and that created a big wreck there at the end. And then, like I said, PK fills in for Zilich, and he gets the job done. He holds off the Allgaier at the end there. He holds off basically the best plate racer in the Xfinity Series, Austin Hill. Lots of different challenges up there. I think Sammy Smith got up there towards the end as well. Great job by freaking PK, man. Get some redemption. He won that truck race at Daytona earlier this year, got it taken away from him. We talked about that in length on the podcast back in February. It felt great. The only thing is it doesn't count because, you know why? Because Zilich is so damn good, he doesn't even have to be in the car to win a race. He gets the win. Zilich gets credit with the win because he starts the race. A lot of people on the internet are confused or mad about that and think it should be PK's win. It's never been like that in the past. It's these new fans that don't understand this sub-driving thing. Like, they see this and their minds are freaking blown and they're over here just beating their head against the wall and taking Adderall to try and figure this out, math equations and whatnot, trying to figure out how this works, and they're just jumping off the walls. I'm like, dude, you guys are spazzes, man. And like this is how it's been, man. I remember, I don't know, whatever, 15, 20 years ago when Hamlin was supposed to drive the Gibbs car in the Xfinity Series. They were at Cup Series, was in a different track. Plane doesn't get there in time. Almirola starts the race. Then Hamlin gets there, jumps in the car. He goes on and wins the race. And then Almirola gets credit with the victory. It was like that. Except the difference was it was planned ahead of time. There's been reserve drivers all the time. I know back in like the early days of the road racing, they would have the Cup guys that were racing for points. They'd start the race at like Watkins Glen or Sonoma, and then they jump out of the car and some road ringer could jump in it and finish the race and finish the day for them, and they get the points for that. You know what I mean? It's just my thing is with it here is Zilich wins the race, but he doesn't get any playoff points for it, which I think is bogus. I think that's bogus, man. All it says you have to start the race. Why does he not get the 5 extra playoff points for winning the race? Why not? I mean, you're going to give him the points for the race, but you're not going to give him the playoff points that come with it? Big Daddy NASCAR is what I'm calling that. That's crap. That's crap. He should get 5 extra points, man. That's doo-doo. That's BS, man. He should be getting 5 more playoff points. That's all I'm saying. That's BS. BS. But yeah, it's awesome for PK, though. Big time win. Fills in. Gets his kind of his Cinderella redemption story for what happened in February with the Daytona race, with the trucks, you know. I mean, I don't know. In the post race, they said that I was watching the post race media center and everything, and Zilich said he was gonna buy PK a trophy, which I think is freaking dope, dude. Like that's freaking badass, dude. Zilich is a freaking G, man. He said if he wins a championship, he's gonna buy PK a championship ring too. I think it's freaking awesome, dude. Oh man, I think he said he was gonna give the money to PK as well and everything. I mean, he didn't even care, man. I think it's funny, man. I thought it was awesome. I was hoping I was hoping the whole time watching the end of this race that PK would win. He got her done, man. PK got her done, man. What a beast he is, dude. Zilich again wins another one. 7 wins on the season. I think he said he was trying to chase down Bell for the most wins in an Xfinity season. I think he's gonna do it, man. I'm already saying it now. Zilich winning the championship, boys. I'm saying it now, dude. He's winning this championship. Where's his weakness? Let me know. I want to know. Where is he weak? He's not. He's gonna win this weekend in Portland. I mean, what am I gonna tell you, dude? There's no weaknesses. The only weakness that he has is the stupid playoff format and having to win the final race at Phoenix. That anybody can win that freaking race, man. All he has to do is show up and somebody freaking wall him in. Like we can put Natalie Decker in that race. Equally TKO him on lap 3. You know, like that's the only weakness. Other than that, dude, he's making it to the championship 4, dude. It's not even a question in my mind. But I think it was a great race, man. Xfinity Series is always great, dude. I enjoyed watching this race. Uh, I think besides if the IndyCar race wasn't as damn good as it was, which we'll talk about that here in a minute, I would say this was the best race of the weekend. I mean, this was phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I love Xfinity racing. And me and Tom talked about this last week, like that the O'Reilly's coming in. I'm still calling it the Xfinity Series, man. Or I'll just call it the X. I don't even care, dude. We'll call it the X. And we'll deal with Elon's strategy. We'll call it the X. The X. Oh man. Alrighty. Next let's talk about the Cup Series race since we're on the topic of NASCAR, and then I'll give you my playoff kind of predictions here. Early in this race, Tyler Reddick, Todd Gilliland get together. Reddick ends up getting some damage, which looked promising for Bowman because if you guys remember, we talked about it last week. The only way it was going to be both Reddick and Bowman and or one of them, according to how the points played out and if we got a new winner, right? So with that incident there with Reddick, it made it in a situation where Bowman could potentially maybe pass him in points. It was looking promising. That was all until old Bubba Wallace. Oh man, ends up just absolutely triggering the biggest big one I've seen it. I mean, in the stage 1 of a Daytona race in a while. I mean, that was just he ends up going into Logano, ends up taking out KFB. I mean, Cindric was in there, and poor Bowman's right in the middle of it. He gets absolutely wiped out. Bowman's basically for the rest of the race just sitting in his motorhome, just hoping that there's no new winner. I mean, that's all the race turned into, man. Like it was just, and it wasn't. How do I say it? It wasn't that great of a race. Let's be honest, dude. Let's be honest about this. The Daytona 500 this year, that was a good race. That was an actually good race. Like me and Tom did the watch party for it. We sat here and we were freaking on the edge of our seat that whole race. It was a damn good Daytona 500. This race just didn't have that feel to it. Like we didn't have any green flag stops. That's always gonna put it down on my tier list, a little bit, I don't care about the wrecks. That's not even part of it. Like, I mean, I'll take them. I'll leave them. If we got 0 wrecks, I'm still gonna think the same as if we have like 10. Well, I don't know. If we have like 10 wrecks, I'll probably hate the race because it turns into a shit show. But there was no green flag stops. There was a lot of like some maneuverability. It felt like with the cars. The cars were a little on edge, but not as much as they were in February. It felt like. Did see the top lane at times kind of develop, but not really. I mean, the top lane really never developed. You see it all the time in these races. You kind of get gridlocked in the 2x2, and the third line just never really works out. And if the third line does start moving, either the inside or outside lane gets high or gets shuffled up where they get a car too clear either way, and then they move down or up, and the guys on the outside kind of just shuffle back down, and it just kind of turns back into that. We saw a lot of that in this race too. So, there's just a lot of like little intricacies. It wasn't like I'm not saying it's a bad race, guys. I'm not giving it like a freaking 2 out of 10. I'm giving it like a 5, 6 out of 10. I mean, it was just a mid Daytona race. That's all it was. It was just a mid race. It wasn't like the Daytona 500 earlier this year. I would have gave that like a 9 out of 10. Like that was a great race. This one was like a 6 out of 10. It didn't keep me glued to my seat, and it didn't keep me invested, even though I'm like kind of a Bowman fan, and I was really interested in how the thing turned out for his playoff hopes. It still didn't prevent me from opening my phone to X and reading the conspiracy theories. Speaking about Bowman, about how apparently Bubba Wallace intentionally wrecked Kyle Busch so that Bowman would get involved in a wreck so that Reddit could lock himself in points. You guys are cancer, man. I mean, this is ridiculous, bro. I read, how many of those did I read, man? You guys are next level bonkers. I mean, we got called crazy with some of the stuff we've said in the past on this podcast. But damn, you guys are crazy with some of your takes, man. Hey, you gotta love X, man. It's fantastic. I mean, where does that put us? I mean, I do want to talk about Larson. There's a lot of people mad at Larson. He ends up. Eric Jones had a great race. I'm going to nominate as the driver of the week. I know it's P5 and whatever. He did a damn good job at controlling that race late. Like a really damn good job controlling that race late. It really felt like his race to lose. He was absolutely a mastermind behind the wheel, controlling the lanes, controlling the front of the field. I thought he did a fantastic job. I'm going to nominate him as driver of the week. He didn't get the win, but his recovery at the end after what happened with Larson shucking him out of the way. I mean, Larson's mission right there was completely to shuck him out of the way. But what else are you going to do, man? Like, if you're like at a super speedway, at the end of the race, you're just going to be pushing as hard as you can, especially when you're within like 9, 6, 8, 9 laps, how many laps were left to go. There's single digits for sure. Like, you're just going to be pushing and pushing and pushing. And you can't blame Larson for pushing as hard as he was to Eric Jones. It sucks for Jones. Like, I feel like he was the car to beat at the end of that race there. And then the other guy I felt like was the other guy to beat. There was two cars up there that I felt like were going to play spoilers. Eric Jones or it was Ryan Preece. Well, Ryan Preece gets late after Larson shucks Jones. And then Larson just completely splits Preece and sends it back to the back of the field. I mean, that was funny, man. Hung money. What did I think I texted Tom. I was like, man, Bowman's playoff hopes right now are completely influenced by hung money, Chase Elliott, and Christopher Belsack. I was like, he's screwed. Like, none of those three guys are winning this race. Like, Bowman's not making the playoffs. We're going to have a new winner. And it sure as hell looked like it. Justin Haley's up there battling for the lead. We had Preece, obviously. Jones, like I mentioned, both of them got shucked out. And then here comes Cole Custer up on the top. I'm like, holy shit, Cole Custer's going to win this race. And then I look behind him, and here comes our YRP, man. Look at Blaney, man. So inspirational, dude. He goes from like 13th to 2nd on the final 2 laps of the race, bro. Like I said, it played out perfectly because every time that third line would develop all night long, and most of the super speedway races we ever watch, third line goes and then they start shuffling down and they just keep filling the bottom lines, and then eventually just the outside just keeps shuffling up or it dies, right? Well, that's what Blaney did. He just stayed committed to the outside. Everybody just kept moving down. And here comes Blaney. Buy them all. Ends up winning the race. Saves Bowman's career, as Tom says. I kind of agree with him. I feel like if Bowman didn't make these playoffs, his 48 seat was next year was the end. Like next year, his final contract year is over. So that was big, but I mean, just look at Blaney, man. Again, watch out for Blaney in these playoffs. I think me and Tom both came on here in the offseason. We said Bell's championship to win this year. It's going to be interesting. This is going to be an interesting playoffs. I got about 5 drivers, I would say. Probably, maybe 6. I'll throw in a 6th, and I'll give you the reasoning for it here in a minute to make my playoffs. I heard my championship 4. But that was big. That was big to save Bowman. We'll see how far he goes. I mean, round of 8's not out of the realm. And the way I look at it, this is an interesting playoffs. We got Josh Berry in there, who's had no speed since Vegas, basically. Cindric, who's really only good at super speedways. Unless he can make it to Daytona or to Talladega, I just don't see him having an opportunity to advance. He's been terrible in points. SVG's gap looks good now, but it's so tight. The tracks are coming up. I don't think favor him. I just don't see SVG making it. Who else is in there? Austin Dillon. He's like, what, 29th in points? I mean, he's terrible. There's no way he's going to advance. There's just no way. Who else is in there? Does it even matter? I mean, to be honest, like, I I guess we'll just go into it. My championship 4. Pretty simple, I think. I'm going to throw Bell in there. I know Bell is really, really inconsistent as of late. He has not put the performances together. But this 20 team, I think, is primed and loaded. They've got the speed. They're in the right organization. They've got the experience. They've got the cohesiveness. Their pit crew doesn't make mistakes. I think that 20 team is primed to make a playoff run here. And it was my preseason prediction. I'm not going to sway away from it. So that's my number 1. I'm going Christopher Bell. He's making the championship 4. Now, number 2, I got to throw it up between the 3 Hendrick guys. I don't think we're getting more than 1 Hendrick guy into the Final 4. I just don't think it's happening. Elliott's been consistent, but he's been running worse as we're getting towards the playoffs. Momentum's a real thing. I just don't like the way he's trending right now. So I'm going to throw Elliott out of the equation here. Next is Larson. And since Indianapolis, this dude's been nothing. It's hung money, dude. Like, I could see him make it to round 8. There's no doubt in my mind he's making the round 8. He's got Bristol and Darlington in the first round. I mean, this is like Kyle Larson fanboy frenzy right here. And then we got Byron. I think Byron makes the championship 4 this year. Again, I think he does. He's got enough of a point gap in the standings that he gets stage points. He runs consistent enough. These tracks, I just not. Talladega, maybe the only track I look at was a wild card for him. I think he'll run good at the Roval. I think he'll run good at some of these other tracks. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll advance to that championship 4. Excuse me. And then from there, I'm going Blaney, dude. Look at Blaney, man. That team is built for this. They are built for this, man. He's built for this. He's built different, dude. Look at Blaney, man. Blaney, that's my number 3. And now I kind of threw Larson in there. That was kind of out of my 6 guys there. And then I have to talk about Hamlin and Briscoe. Those are my other 2 of the 6 that I'm kind of thinking for this championship. Let's take Briscoe, for instance. Briscoe qualifies extremely well. And that's going to be a huge advantage in these playoffs. The fact that he can qualify up front, that in the first stage of most of these races, that's guaranteeing stage points. And when all you have to do is just outpoint the other guys, and you're getting, let's say, gets 9 to 14 stage points a race, it's hard. It's going to be hard to knock him out. And the thing is not only is he getting the stage points, he might fade in stage 2, but he always seems to be up in the top 10 at the end of the race. And he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. As much shit as we give Briscoe, he just really isn't like, he's not like an elite driver. I'm not saying that, ladies and gentlemen. Not saying that at all. I think he's a mid at best driver. But he's not terrible to the point where he's just completely trash either. You know, like he's just a mid driver who qualifies really good and somehow finds his way up to the top 10 by the end of the race. And if he's scoring anywhere from 8 to 14 stage points a race on top of finishing in the top 10, he's going to point his way into the Elite 8. It's going to happen. Next is Hamlin. He can win at pretty much any track that we have remaining on the schedule. He is an absolute freaking threat for the championship, 100%. So if I'm going to put a 4th guy in, I'm going to go Hamlin. I hate to say it. I feel like this is a year Hamlin is going to make the Final 4. So to recap, I got Bell, I got Byron, I got Blaney, and I got Hamlin. That's your championship for the 2025. Comment below if you have a different. If you think different, maybe give me your championship pick. I don't know. Just whatever you guys feel in the comments. Leave it. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. All right. Indy NXT, let's just touch on this real quick before we get into the last 2 banger races for the weekend. I called it. That was my dark horse for the last 2 races, and he finally did it. The only Andretti car not to win yet in Indy NXT, Salvador de Alba. He ends up getting the job done this weekend. Dominant performance, by the way. What a great job. Had to beat his teammate Dennis Hauger to do it. And on that note, Dennis Hauger is your 2025 Indy NXT champion. Secures it with 1 race remaining. What a fantastic season for Dennis Hauger, man. What an awesome season. Dominant performance. I'm excited to see what he does. There's been rumors that maybe he's linked to Juncos on a loan next year. Maybe replacing old Stingray or Cooter, which I feel like that would be an upgrade either way. Oh, man. Can you imagine having a team with drivers named Stingray and Cooter, man? Unbelievable. How far freaking Juncos has fallen. But yeah, Dennis Hauger, man. What a great season. Well deserving. See what he can do for the rest of the season. Well, I guess this weekend, the final race in Nashville. We'll see if he can end off with another win. All right, now it's time to talk about IndyCar, man. The Snap-on 250 at Milwaukee Mile. And boy, was this a hell of a race. The beginning of this race was freaking phenomenal. I know, uh, uh, excuse me. Goodness gracious, gotta get some water. Been going like crazy here talking to myself. All right, beginning of this race, we have Alex Palou versus David Malukas for about the first 100 laps. I mean, best back and forth battle for the lead. Through all the different strategies, all the pit cycles, everything. I mean, it was a great race between the two of them. Palou would lead a while, then Malukas would pass him and lead for a while, then Palou would go back to lead. Great racing. Then we have a green flag pit cycle. Both Malukas and Palou hit pit road around the same time. Malukas gets the unfortunate deal here with the bad pit stop, the delayed pit stop, and set them back because at the same time the caution comes out, Will Power having his little spat into the wall, doing some Will Power-esque things, shitting on the bed that Serta get him, as again, ends up really ruining Malukas' race, especially with that bad pit stop. Just terrible timing. Alex Palou puts him a lap down. Malukas really never recovered from this, ends his day, basically. And from there, it really looked like it was going to be an Alex Palou dominant performance like we've seen all season long for the last like 4 years. I mean, just another awesome Alex Palou moment. But we get a caution late in this race for rain with about 40 laps to go. Changed the complexion of the race. This has changed the strategy where McLaren's with Pat Ward, as well as with ECR cars with Rossi and Rasmussen, were able to come in and put new tires on towards the end of this race. We had like a 28, 29 lap run to the checker. Palou checks off. We got lap cars in between. Let's just put this up in perspective for Christian Rasmussen. By God, did this guy put himself on the map on Sunday. I mean, this had to have been one of the most incredible drives I have ever seen. I mean, how freaking brave Rasmussen was, slicing and dicing through the field, making it too wide, up on the outside, refusing to lift, getting like razor's edge away from the wall. You couldn't even put a freaking playing card in between those, or a piece of paper in between the wall and his tires on the right side. I mean, one of the most incredible drives I've ever seen. I mean, I was just on the edge of my seat watching this race. Absolutely thrilling. It had to have been one of the greatest drives I've seen. I mean, this had to have been one of the drives of the year. I mean, it was unbelievable in going through lap traffic. And even after he passes Palou with like 15 laps to go, he's battling through lap traffic doing the same thing. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat thinking, like, Rasmussen's going to throw this race away. He's going to hit the wall trying to pass his lap cars. Like, what is happening right now? Like, take it easy, my guy. You got a lead. Like, chill. It's just unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. We saw the talent in Indy NXT a few years ago. Him and Nolan Siegel had that incredible championship battle, basically down to the bitter end. That was before we saw the rise of Louis Foster. We kind of saw glimpses of it. But, I mean, that was a stout Indy NXT field that year in 2023. I mean, that was a legit field. Last year, Rasmussen comes in. It didn't really show much as a rookie. Just really didn't have the pace. And it was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to judge. Seeing how good he did in Indy NXT and how dominant he was. And it's like this year on these ovals, man, he is the most relentless. I mean, to go back to Gateway. Gateway was an incredible race for Rasmussen. I mean, he drove from the back of the field. I think he finished, P4 in that race? What an incredible drive. This one was even better. I mean, this was one of the most cinematic races I've ever seen. I mean, he's just slicing and dicing, making it 2-3 wide up on the outside, refusing to lift. And let's give it up to the broadcast, man. Townsend Bell, God, I'm already blanking his freaking name. Will Buxton. Dude, I had goosebumps watching this. That's how a broadcast is supposed to freaking be, man. That's how a broadcast is supposed to be, dude. They are losing their freaking minds, dude. I'm losing my freaking mind. I'm having goosebumps. I'm on the edge of my freaking seat, just like glued to the I'm in shock. I've watched it the last like 20, 30 laps back like 2-3 times now. I mean, it was just freaking incredible. Absolutely incredible. I think IndyCar even posted like a short video, like a summary of his his fight to the front of the field. I mean, that was just unbelievable, man. Who would have thought, dude? Who would have thought? I mean, unbelievable. I'm excited to see what he can do next week in Nashville. And I'm not even like that big of an IndyCar oval guy. Like I could leave it or take it. You know, I've been talking all the time about they need to reduce the amount of ovals and do more road and street courses. And I've been an advocate for that. But damn, man, if we're gonna get more performances, like even Cooter at the beginning of the race. I mean, as much as we should talk Cooter, he's willing to do that stuff. Santino Ferrucci's willing to do that stuff. Malukas is extremely quick on ovals. He's fun to watch. And now we got Rasmussen doing the same. Like, we've got a good crop of young drivers that are willing to do some crazy things on ovals. This is freaking awesome to watch, man. Christian Rasmussen just put himself on the map. He's going to be a superstar. It's a matter of time. And I think once, you got to put this, he's racing for ECR, guys. ECR. I mean, imagine what he could be doing in better equipment. I mean, I felt like Lundgaard last year was like the big hot shoe in the offseason last year for signing, goes to McLaren. Like Rasmussen's stock just went up like tenfold. I mean, who did the most to boost their career this year? I mean, obviously it's Kyle Kirkwood and Christian Rasmussen. And I think also David Malukas as well deserves a lot of credit as well with this great qualifying and his great running up front. I mean, the results haven't been there. A lot of bad luck, misfortune. But I think Malukas and Kirkwood and Rasmussen made, I think they're the biggest career rise this season. I mean, they've just done amazing. And with the lack of diversity in winners this year, we've only had Kirkwood, Pelot, Power, and now Rasmussen are your only winners so far. I mean, unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable what Rasmussen did this weekend. It was one of the most incredible drives. And we don't normally do it, but I'm going to put Christian Rasmussen as driver of the week nominee. We usually don't pick winners, but damn, man, like you cannot not pick him. You know what I mean? To be driver of the week. It was incredible. If you truly watch that race and understand IndyCar racing and what happened this weekend, man, that was incredible. I'm jealous of Dallas. See where he ended up going to the race, man. They got to see that in person. What an incredible race that would have been to watch in person, man. I would have been absolutely freaking on my feet. That place looked packed too. IndyCar, Milwaukee, match made in heaven. And the crowd showed out for it. That was incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. All right, we're going to brush over this IMSA race real quick, and then we'll go over to driver of the week and bonehead of the week. I think one of the I'll just talk about some of the best moments. So we had Rexy making a big move on Katzberg, who was in the number 4 Corvette. Katzberg ends up running off the track through the S section. He ends up dropping a wheel. Rexy with Bachler behind the wheel decides to make kind of a late lunge, makes the pass. Well, Katzberg wasn't having none of it. He recovers and he just absolutely sends Rexy right off the track. I thought that was pretty entertaining. It feels like all year we've talked about it. Corvette's just been the bullying victim of IMSA. I mean, they were just getting absolutely used and abused on a weekly basis. This was like that moment where they're like, we're done. Especially Katzberg, that 4 Corvette team in particular. With Tommy Miller used his shirt back there with it. All the stuff that's happened to him this year. Katzberg's been on the bad end of it too, especially at Road America for the last race, with BMW running over him as well there. It felt like this was that moment where Corvette threw the gloves down and was like, you know what? Screw it, man. We're not playing nice guy no more. I mean, Bachler didn't do anything wrong. He made a legitimate racing move, but it was like, no, we're not playing no games, dog. We're gonna race you hard here, and he ends up putting him off the track. The number 48 BMW. This is kind of in the same thing with Corvette. It felt like a little bit of redemption because number 48 BMW ends up detonating from the lead, from P2, ends up setting him out of the race. Also, this was one of the craziest things that I saw all weekend. I don't know if you guys saw the clip. I was thinking about making a short for it because I think it was freaking insanity, man. This was like craziness. But the number 45 Ferrari ends up having an issue, ends up detonating. The car catches on fire. And he goes spinning off through the grass, hits the inside tire pack violent. I mean, it wasn't like, whoa, that's freaking fun. But it was like not that like calm of a crash either. It was like, what just happened? And you see him diving out of the car. I mean, formality, he just dives out this car like flames are bursting. This car is burning to the ground, dude. He dives out. He ends up running over the little Armco barrier there, and he's throws his helmet down. His eyes are burning. He's all, and the medical team's sitting there like looking at him like, what's that guy doing? You know, just being stupid. I'm like, guys, he's dying over here. He's got like, what is that? What do they call it when you get like the smoke inhalation or whatever? Like, he's freaking dying over there, man. You saw how fast he dove out that car, and he's all running, his helmet on and everything, jumps over the little guardrail there. He's all throws his helmet down, and then he comes running back to the safety officials who are just standing there looking at his car, looking at him. He's like, give me some damn water, man. Water. I need water for my eyes. It's just, you can't make it up, man. It was comical, dude. Those officials just looked lost in the sauce, man. It's like they've never done this before. I mean, I don't know. Maybe VIR next year needs to upgrade their officials or whatever that's going on. Their medical, AMR safety. I don't know what was going on there, but that was just comical, man. This guy looks like he's about to die, and there was no concern, rush, or hurry, or fucks given from that AMR safety team, man. That was a moment. But it was a crazy incident. I mean, just seeing it live, I was like, whoa, what the hell happened there? And then it was just like all the stuff that happened after. I was like, I'm watching a clown show right now. I'm watching an absolute clown show right now. What is happening? What is happening? At the end of this race, the number 78 Forte, I always kind of pull for the Forte team. We've seen PK race for him this year at Daytona and Sebring. Kind of an underdog team. They were having a great run. They were running P2 at the end of the race, but they were doing everything possible. It was Fahnbacher behind the wheel, just blocking his heart out, blocking his guts out, doing everything he could do. Ends up getting a penalty for blocking right there on the white flag lap, pass-through penalty. So he wasn't able to assess the penalty under racing conditions, which sucks because they end up giving him a big grid place penalty, which is devastating, man. But the number 3 Corvette wins. It was sweet redemption for Corvette. It felt like their time was coming. They get it done this weekend at VIR. And then in the GTD class, the number 57 Windward, I called it. I told you they were going to win. The Windward machines are extremely quick. That Mercedes at VIR is as a lethal combination. We've seen it the last few years. I knew it was going to happen again, and they did it. They got the job done there in GTD Pro. Great race. We got 2 rounds remaining. We got Indianapolis, and then we got Petit Le Mans, which are basically, you start the season with your 2 crown jewels with Rolex and Sebring. You end it with 2 more crown jewels with the Brickyard and then with Petit Le Mans. So we're going to see, man. The Simpson season's going to be winding down with 2 races remaining, but it's going to be an absolute thrill ride to the end. I'm excited to see how this season ends, but this weekend, the number 3 Corvette in Pro and the number 57 Windward in GTD. All right, drivers of the week. Dean Thompson, I didn't mention this in the Xfinity review, but this guy was involved in like every wreck that happened possible during the entire race, and he avoided the last one to come home with a P7 finish. Great job by Dean Thompson with that P7 in the Xfinity. Never give up, guys. Never give up. He didn't give up, and he ended up finishing P7. I'm going to nominate Eric Jones. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of drivers I could have nominated, but I feel like Eric Jones deserved this one. He raced his guts out. It felt like he had probably the best car. Him, like I said, him or Priest, it looked like was going to win this race. He did such a great job controlling the front of the field, and then Larson obviously shucked him and Priest. But Eric Jones still recovered for a P5. He was still in that frame at the photo finish, so great job by him this weekend. And then Christian Rasmussen, if he doesn't win this poll, I don't know what you guys are watching. I mean, I don't know what you guys are doing, because that was one of the most incredible drives I've ever seen. It was unbelievable. I'm going to nominate him. We normally don't nominate winners on Driver of the Week. It's more of like an underdog, great performance type shout out, that we give. But I mean, it is an underdog, great performance shout out. I mean, he won the race. I mean, unbelievable. It's just not the more I can say about it. It's just unbelievable. Boneheads of the week. I mentioned it with the Xfinity. I'm going to nominate Ryan Sieg. The impatience with the late block to move up to the outside third line. I think if he'd have stayed in the middle, the momentum would have been there, and he would have been able to find himself back. Instead, he makes the late block up on that outside line, gets turned in front of the field, causes that big crash. I'm going to nominate Bubba Wallace for triggering the big one. I mean, that was just unnecessary that early in the race. I don't understand what was happening there. And then I'm going to nominate Nolan Siegel. I didn't really talk about this in the IndyCar review because it wasn't worth my time. But again, it's a terrible season for Nolan Siegel. It's just absolutely garbage. I mean, it's crazy terrible. To think the two ends of the spectrum, right? Christian Rasmussen and Nolan Siegel 2 years ago in the Indiana NXT put on one of the greatest championship battles of that season, right? It was an incredible fight all the way down the bitter end between those two, splitting wins everywhere they went. And then to see where both of them are right now, with Nolan Siegel wrecking out on lap 2 by running out of absolute talent, getting on the apron off of 4, and then Christian Rasmussen driving through the field and winning the race. I mean, look how separate, like, that's 180 degrees with the separation between their two career paths right now. Unbelievable. So I'm going to nominate Nolan Siegel. And I think it's fitting considering Christian Rasmussen won this weekend. because that's kind of the benchmark, right? You got to compare those two. Those the two that fought for the championship in Indy NXT. I mean, it's just is what it's like comparing Bell and Reddick in the Cup Series. They both came in together. Look what they're doing now. It's like kind of the same thing. Alrighty, I gave you my championship 4 predictions. Let's go straight into the race previews for this weekend. We got Xfinity at Portland, Trucks a Cup at Darlington for the start of both their playoffs, Indy NXT and IndyCar for the season finale at Nashville, and then F1 is back from the summer break at Zandvoort, which I'm super excited for. Man, I've been missing some F1, man. Oh, I've been missing for some F1. I've been itching and fiending for some F1, boys. It's back this weekend. All right, Truck Series. Notable entries. For the trucks, we got Corey Day with Spire in the 7. Andres Perez in the number 44 for Nice, since he got replaced by Corey LaJoie, who's in his ride in the 77. Xfinity Series, we got Will Brown coming back to the States, make another attempt at a road course with colleague in the 11. Jack Perkins, another Aussie, up in the number 19 for JGR this weekend. Alon Day in the number 24 for Sam Hunt. Joey Hand in the 28 for Ryan Sieg Racing. Austin Green in the 32 for Jordan Anderson Racing. Vicente Salas in the 45 for Alpha. Annunziata, who won that ARCA race a few weeks ago at Lime Rock Park. He's going to be in the 70 for Cope. And then Josh Williams gets another redemption ride with DGR. I mean, this is a stacked road racing entry list. I mean, this race is going to be freaking awesome, dude. I wish I could be there. This is going to be thrilling. And Portland's a great track, especially for stock car racing. That turn 1, turn 2, that little first chicane there with action corners, I like to call it there at Portland. Man, we are going to see a lot of action there, dude, especially with the non-competitive pit stops, which I hate personally, but we're going to get them because obviously the Cups and Trucks are over in Darlington. It's going to be an interesting race. But with that being said, I got a good Cup entry list before I jump in Xfinity. Cup Series, Derek Kraus with NY Racing in the 44, and then Josh Bilicki with the MBM number 66 team. All right, Saturday. I can't wait to talk about this race. I'm excited. I'm going to be glued to my TV on Saturday watching this race. I'm not even going to lie. Xfinity Series, the Pacific Office Automation 147. I said at the top, I'll say it again. I'll say it all the time. 88's the man. C. Zilly, your future Xfinity Series champion. He's going to win again. 8th win of the season here at Portland. He's gonna beat these road ringers, man. Will Brown, Jack Perkins, Alon Day, Joey Hand, Austin Green. I mean, this is a stacked Thomas Annunziata. I mean, this is a stacked freaking field, and Zilich is gonna take him behind the shed and give him the old Yeller treatment this weekend. Give me C. Zilly, give me that 88, give me the win this weekend at Portland. And then for my dark horse, I'm going Austin Green. Every time he jumps behind the wheel of the 32 car, he impresses me every time. I mean, I'm a big proponent for him. I think he deserves a full-time ride next year in Xfinity. He won an ARCA race this year. Every time he jumps in an Xfinity Series race, mostly road courses, but he always finds a top 10 somehow out of the blue. I mean, he's an incredible talent. I want to see him get more opportunities. I think he is exceptional. And he's following kind of that route that Zilich kind of went on with the road racing, and then he went to TA2, and then he went to run super late models and ran ARCA, and now he's running Xfinity stuff. It's kind of on that Zilich kind of track as well. I'm gonna like to see him get some more opportunities. That's my dark horse this weekend. Truck Series, the Sober or Slammer 200 at Darlington on Saturday night. I'm gonna go Corey Heim to win this race. He's got that massive points lead, but I mean, honestly, how can you not pick Corey Heim? I mean, he's the one person you have to pick at this point. He's just that good. Take Corey Heim this weekend. I'm gonna lay it. Just if I could bet on, I would. I mean, he's gonna win. And my dark horse, I'm going with the man that's replacing Stuart Friesen this weekend. I mean, he's going to be the next competitive guy in the Truck Series to win a championship this year, man. He's got an opportunity to make the championship four. I feel like behind Heim, it's pretty much wide open. Who's going to compete for the championship? Is it going to be Lane Riggs? Is it going to be Majeski? That's where I was going with it. Is it going to be Chandler Smith? Rajah Caruth? Does he come out of something? Like, for second right now, the championship four, like those other 3 spots are really up in the air. Who's going to get him? Who's going to claim him? I think the guy that could really take the step forward this weekend, he's in way better equipment than I think he was at Nice. I think he has a great opportunity this weekend to really show his muscle and get his first career win. That's Kane Honeycutt. That's my dark horse this weekend. All right, this weekend, Zandvoort for the Formula One Dutch Grand Prix. I am excited for this race. Extremely excited. The summer break is over. We've seen a surge recently with Mercedes. We've seen the great runs by Sauber. Haas has been hit and miss. One week they're good, one week they're bad. I mean, we've seen a lot of diversity this year across the grid. Red Bull's completely trash, can't compete. The RB buy one get one free team, the sister team, the baby brother team is outperforming them most weeks. Ferrari can't does Ferrari things, can't strategize a race, can't pit stop a car for shit. I mean, just everything possible going wrong with Ferrari. I mean, Fernando Alonso scoring points in one of the last Grand Prix. I mean, it's been a wild, wild year. We've seen rain races, we've seen carnage, we've seen rookies having terrible races and then good races. I mean, what are we going to see this weekend? Well, I don't think we're going to see much different. McLaren is the team to beat. I think they're, again, the team to beat this weekend. That points gap has kind of been fluctuating between Lando and Piastri from like 2 to 16 points, just back and forth and back and forth. I think Piastri needed this little bit of a break. He's going to relock in, refocus. I think he's going to get the job done this weekend. I think we're going to get to a point of the season, especially as we progress here through the late summer into the early fall, into the end of this season. We're going to see Lando Norris push and press a lot more. I feel like in his mind, he's got to be thinking, this is my chance to win this title. This is my chance to be the world champion. If I don't seize it now, I might not ever get another chance at it. And you might not. I mean, we've seen what happened to Red Bull was in this position 2 years ago, and now look at him. That could be McLaren in 2 years. A new team could take the forefront, especially with Audi coming in. We got Cadillac coming in. That could change things. Mercedes keeps developing towards the future. Who knows what's going to happen with Red Bull? Maybe the Red Bull resurgence comes back. Maybe Ferrari finally pulls their head out of their ass for the first time since the inception of that program. Who knows? But right now, it feels like it's gotta be that mentality between Norris and will he overdrive, overstep, make mistakes? We've seen it before. Does McLaren play favorites towards Lando? We've seen it already this season. Do we see more of that? It's all up to Piastri. Piastri has to run flawless races. Pray that the strategy doesn't screw him over and doesn't get weird safety cars for the rest of the season. He's just got to keep his head down and keep pushing like he's been doing. I think this weekend's a great opportunity for him, and that's a great track for McLaren. They've had great success here. The only question is was weather going to play a factor. We get a wet Zandvoort race? Wow. We are in for a freaking banger of a race. We could see anybody win at that point. It could be wild. So I'm hoping we get a rainy Zandvoort. Rainy Zandvoort is God tier Zandvoort. Let's hope it rains there this weekend. My dark horse, I'm going with Hulkamania, man. There's something with this Sauber team right now that's brewing, and I think a lot of it has to do with Audi coming in next year. We say it all the time. Look at Audi's track record in motorsports. Anytime they've came into a new motorsport, they've always came in big appendage swinging. Phallus is just dangling in the wind. They're doing the same, I feel like, right now with the development. I know Audi's not like branded on that car now or anything like that, and pieces really haven't come into place. But I just have a feeling, man, like Audi's behind some of this Sauber surge, man. Like it's crazy. We see Hulkenberg get his first ever podium, with Bortoleto scoring points, Bottas scoring points. This is like the best year Sauber's I feel like it's ever had in my entire time of ever watching F1. I can't ever remember Sauber ever being respected at all. I mean, it's insane. I'm sticking with Hulkamania. It's running freaking wild, boys. It's running wild. I think it's going to continue this weekend in Zandvoort. I think this summer break was exactly what that team needed. They're going to come back and go swinging. It's their home stretch, man. It's over. It's over after this year. It's the Audi team next year. It's done. I think they're going to go out on a high. I think I'm going to take Hulkenberg, especially if it rains this weekend. Who's a good driver to have in the rain? A veteran guy, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, gets results. Hulkenberg's a man to choose. Alrighty. Indy NXT, the finale, the Music City Grand Prix. The season championship is wrapped up, and I think Hauger is going to win the finale, put a bow on a fantastic championship season. And my dark horse, I'm going to do it just for all of you fans that are, or if they even have fans anymore. I don't know. I haven't seen any TikToks recently. No new go-kart trucks in the backyard. I'm going with Haley Deegan this weekend. This is my dark horse. Stay mad about it. Get mad about it. Get in the comments. I can see it now. Weep Weep, weep, cry, cry, cry. Wonder whose fault it'll be this week. All right, moving on to the IndyCar race on Sunday. The Borchetta Bourbon. Oh my God, can I pronunciate words today? Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix. I'm going with David Malukas. David Malukas winning this weekend, boys. It's happening. How much bad luck can this man have? He's going to end the season on a high note. He's going to win this race. He's the only one who's been legitimately able to compete with Alex Palou this season on the ovals. I think it's his weekend. 100% his weekend. 100% taking Malukas this weekend. It's going to be freaking fantastic. Can you imagine ending the season with a Rasmussen Malukas victory? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I called it here first, boys. And then my dark horse, I mean, really, who is the dark horse? The whole field at this point? I mean, I'll do it. It's the finale. I mean, I just kind of throwing names out there like I did in Indy NXT. I'm going to do the same here. Give me Cooter. Give me Cooter as a dark horse this weekend, boys. Give me old Cooter. Let's see what Cooter can do behind the wheel of that thing. He ain't going to win. That's why he's a dark horse. He'll be lucky to finish top 10, to be honest with you guys. Alrighty, and then ARCA on Sunday, the Southern Illinois 100. I'll just keep this short and sweet and simple. I'm going to go Brennan Queen to win. I'm going to go LeVar Scott as my dark horse. It's nice and simple. All right, and then Sunday, the Cup Series, the Cookout 500, the opening round of the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. I went a lot of places with this pick. My 5-driver fantasy lineup. These are the 5 drivers I'm thinking can win this race. I'm going Larson, I'm going Hamlin, I'm going Reddick, I'm going Bell, I'm going Briscoe. Those are the 5 drivers I'm looking at to win this race. So if I'm narrowing down those 5 drivers, I'm going Bell. I'm going with my championship pick. Bell's going to start this playoffs on a hot streak right here. I think that we're going to see a different 20 team than we've seen all season long. I think the experimenting's done. I think that the mindset's there. They're going to be locked in, man. This team's experienced. They've got the speed. They've got the driver. Like, they've got the guy on the pit box. There's just everything's lined up, man. It just feels like Christopher Bell is going to make a run in these playoffs. It starts this weekend at Darlington. My dark horse, this team has been fast as of late. I mean, they've had some great performances. Again, at Daytona, I said at the end of that race, I think he's the best guy. He's got a great track record in Darlington, too, specifically in the Southern 500. He's won it before. Twice. I'm going Eric Jones. He's going to be a top 10 threat all day long. I think if anybody spoils our championship 5 those 5 championship guys that I just picked, it's going to be Jones. Give me Jones this weekend as a dark horse. And then obviously NASCAR Fantasy, I gave you my 5 drivers. I'll just say them again just for the fun of it. We got Larson, Hamlin, Reddick, Bell, and Briscoe. I think that's a great 5-driver lineup. I would take that all day long. And then matchups. We got Briscoe versus Reddick, which is a great matchup because I got both these guys in my lineup. I'm going to go Briscoe over Reddick. Just because the consistency. He's going to score me the stage points, and he's going to find a way in the top 10 at the end. Reddick just is a question. He's an unknown. Like, he could get it done in Darlington. He can. He can get it done anywhere. We haven't seen it this year. And with that being said, I just don't confidently feel like I could take him over Briscoe right now. Next one is Blaney versus Chastain. I'm going Blaney over Chastain. And it's kind of weird to say because Chastain and Darlington just seems like a good matchup, like a good mix. But I don't know about Trackhouse. And that's why I'm worried about SVG in this first round. Not only not being able to score stage points because he hasn't really done it at all on ovals this year, but the Trackhouse cars are just not that good. And Chastain he's a great driver, but those cars are just not that good. I just don't trust it. So I'm going to take Blaney. Bell versus Hamlin. Another great matchup. 2 of my guys in my fantasy picks, but I'm going to give Bell the edge here over Hamlin because I picked him to win the race. But I could see Hamlin winning this race just as much as I could see Bell winning this race. Next one is Byron and Larson. And Byron, my garage driver is Byron, and I have Larson in my lineup. And the reason I did that is for this exact reason. Hung Money is going to do Hung Money things. He's either going to freaking win the race, dominant performance, and kick everybody's ass, or he's going to put it in the wall. That's why I've got Byron in my garage to replace him. That's why I'm going to take Byron over Larson because I feel like I'm going to have to use that garage on Byron this week. I don't think there's any way getting around it. But that's it, man. That's my fantasy lineup for this weekend. Another great weekend of racing we just witnessed this weekend. Another great weekend coming up this weekend. One of my favorite races of the year with the Southern 500. I love Darlington. I love the Southern 500. It's one of those races Sunday night, man. Labor Day weekend. You just throw it on the TV. It's just something special about that race. It just feels right. Feels cool. Uh, just it's an endurance, man. It's just one of those races. The track is always evolving. The day to night cycle, the tire wear, uh, the dramas, the amount of cars that hit the wall, and get the strike. It's just a fun race. IndyCar devastated. It's the season finale. Ripping the chat for IndyCar's 2025 season. Here in a couple weeks, we'll do a IndyCar driver grade segment on the podcast, and we're gonna give all the IndyCar drivers a grade for their 2025 season. That should be fun when Tom's back. We'll do that. And as well as I'm excited for F1 being back. Summer break's over, boys. We're going to lock in and get ready for this world championship fight between Piastri and Norris and see what more shenanigans and craziness can happen throughout the rest of this F1 season, which has been freaking awesome, by the way. Last year, I thought it was amazing. I was like, how are we going to top 2024? Well, 2025 just said, step aside, little brother. Let's show you how it's done. It's been fun to watch. Alrighty. That's all I got for the podcast here on this awesome Tuesday. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys enjoy this content to stay up to date with more content upcoming. We'll be back next Tuesday for another awesome episode of the podcast, and Tom will be here, I believe, as well. Make sure you guys hit the bell icon to stay notified for when we do go live here on this YouTube channel or post videos, which happen on a random basis around here anymore. Make sure you guys go follow us on Kick as well. We're streaming over there, both platforms. That helps support us, help us grow over there as well. Make sure you guys go follow us on all our social medias. We got Facebook, we got TikTok, we got Instagram, we got X. Also in the description below is a link to our Discord to come join the most awesome, best racing community on the internet. All of the news, drama, rumors, memes for all motorsports around the world right here on our Discord. Come in and post your own drama, rumors, memes, news, whatever it may be, whatever motorsport you like. Meet some new friends, interact with us. We love when you guys do that. We always try to interact back. It's always a fun time here on our Discord. Also, if you guys want to support us, go check out our Patreon. All those proceeds continue to help us make bigger and better content for you guys here on the internet, as well as a link below to our merch store where you can go buy you some Dega Boys swag. We also got some team merch in there now as well, since we're racing some Speed Tour modifieds. Figure throw some merch on there if you guys want to buy yourself a Team Mac Racing, Mac Electric hat, t-shirt, whatever it may be. Support the boys. All those proceeds help us make bigger, better content for you guys here on YouTube. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this racing this weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. Threw in a little nostalgic segment in there with what's happening with the regards to the Xfinity race. But I thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your week and enjoy the races this weekend. Have a great one, and we'll see you all in the next one.